Hi, my name is Nick Robinson and thanks for joining me with another video. So I just wanted to mention something. Somebody asked me about the COVID-19 situation in Portugal and what it's really like here. And I'm not a medical guy at all. Trust me, I don't even know how to treat a cold. I just say, ask my wife, she says, why, she says, take all these drugs and stuff. And I say, well, I'm just going to go to bed and drink lots of liquids. That's what my doctor used to tell me as a kid. And I feel that's the best way. So I'm not a doctor and I'm not qualified at all. But I just wanted to explain to you a little bit about life in COVID here in Portugal. So back in March, April, when we were doing about 500 to 1,000 new infections per day all over Portugal, the Algarve was relatively untouched, and it remains a very, very small percentage of what's happening in Portugal. It's like 1%. But I'll get to a little bit more about the figures in a bit. But basically in March, April, we went into a countrywide lockdown. Immediately, the government just instituted it, and all the Portuguese obeyed very well. So it was obligatory to wear masks whenever you go in public. And then you have to wait in queues to go into stores. A lot of restaurants, I think all the restaurants were closed down. Shops were in a highly regulated, just grocery stores. All the shopping centers were closed down. You weren't allowed on the beaches. They were closed, which was a bummer for me because I love to surf and stand up paddle. And then also, when you're like here in my house, we were trying to stay inside the house. Everybody was trying to telework and everyone was shifting away to Zoom like a lot of people around the world. And up and down the roads, these cars would go with megaphones on saying, stay at home and fica em casa and things like that. So it felt a little bit like something straight out of one of those, one of the American movies, with, I can't remember what it's called. Anyway, it's here, this movie, and Outbreak or something, and it felt really like a bit of science fiction, but we were okay because we were here in the country. At least we weren't in in a box in an apartment in a city. So we went out and about, and we could walk in the valley below, which we were very, very privileged to have. So we're very thankful for that. But that's the kind of life we live in the country in the Algarve. You can get out and about, which is exciting. And I think a lot of people are moving now towards places with at least a little bit of outdoor area instead of going straight for an apartment in a city. But I digress. So then during the summer, it was okay. The flights opened because we didn't see airplanes in the sky for about a month. It was quite weird. And then in the summer, the Faro airport opened and the British came in, and lots of people from Northern Europe came in and started coming around. And surprisingly, the infections didn't rise, which was great. So we maintained a stable level, about 200 to 400 new infections per day in the whole of Portugal throughout the summer. And now, obviously, it's just going crazy. So the government's instituted a whole new series of lockdowns. And how they're doing this is they're doing it by a conselho. Now, I remember I mentioned conselho in the previous video, which is a council or a borough or a county, which delineates your local area. So we are privileged to live in one of the smallest conselhos here behind me, is called São Brás del Portel. And because we're very, very small, we have quite a few infections. So it's all about a percentage of infections. So if you have over 210,000 people in your conselho who are infected, then you go into what is called a partial lockdown right now. And that's what we're in right now. And lots of other places around Portugal are in that as well. So we've only got about 30 to 40 cases in São Brás at the moment, but because we've got 11,000 people, that puts us over the 24 limit. Okay, so the thing is, and this is happening partially around, so how is life affected for us? Well, we're urged to stay at home and to do telecommuting because everybody's used to it right now. And if you have to go somewhere, you're allowed to go and pick up stuff. Like, for example, I went down to Decathlon, which is a major store, a sports store, to go and pick up my bicycle that was being fixed up the other day. And that's fine. You can go there and, apologies. You go there, do your business and come back. You can't go and chill out and have fun and stuff. And also what happens, they've imposed a curfew on all these restricted conselhos. So that means that from 11 p.m. at nighttime, you're not allowed to go out. You've got to be back in your house until 5 a.m. the next morning. And then over weekends, they've started instituting it at 1 p.m. on Saturday, and you have to stay in your house from 1 p.m. on Saturday to 5 a.m. Sunday morning. And then the same on Sunday afternoon, 1 p.m. until 5 a.m. Monday morning. So it's effectively locked down, partial lockdown in your house, just to try and limit the movement of people. And it's quite strict. I went cycling the other day, and my wife was like, "Yeah, you can't go cycling." And I came back at 1:30, which is over the limit. And apparently they're turning back people on their bicycles, and the police are out and about. Although I didn't see any police. I'm not saying try and flout the lockdown, because we really need to try and respect these rules. And I won't be planning a bike ride at 1:30 anymore, so I feel that that's wrong. I really think that we must try and help the government and just go along with it, like most of Portugal are doing. So the restrictions here in Portugal are not radical. There are limitations about when you're going out to eat. You have to have, I think, a maximum of 5 people at one table. But these things change all the time. And the governments, every 2 weeks they're meeting and they have a council of ministers, and then they decide new laws, because obviously it's a fluctuating situation. Okay, let's talk about those figures. Now, this is from the 20th of November 2020, and like I said, it's changing all the time. But currently at this stage, there were 82,000 active cases of coronavirus. 163,000 people have recovered, and sadly we had 3,762 deaths, with 61 last night. So that's a total confirmed cases of 250,000. So now, if you look at the map, just moving over a little bit, you'll see that the Algarve has got currently 90 new cases, whereas the rest of Portugal, the Alentejo, the province just above us in grey, is 135 new cases. Lisbon, 1,805 new cases. And then in the furthest north, Porto region, that's 3,630. So you can see that most of the action's happening further north, and it's not spreading that much in the Algarve. Although there are a couple of cases, like I mentioned, my Conselho has been locked down due to the ratio, and about 8 more have just been locked down in the Algarve. So it is spreading a little bit in the Algarve, but it's not as bad as the rest of the country, because we're much more spread out down here. It's not a fully urbanized area like it is up in Lisbon and in Porto. So if you look, just to reinforce that fact, new cases by health region in the top right, the Algarve is only 1%, and that's 90 new cases of the rest of the country. So you can see the north in the bright green taking a whopping 56%, and Lisbon a little bit less. So then just the evolutions of the new cases in the bottom right, this graph is from May, actually a little bit before, sort of January, February, March, April. And that's when you can see the first wave coming. And then over the summer, flattened out a lot. And then towards the end of September and October, it's just started reaching new heights. And now we're up to levels of, I think it's about 6,500 new cases a day throughout the country. 6,489 was the latest count. So it's hovering around there. So it's not good, but the government is introducing lockdowns, and that will be controlling. And they've already had a lot of success in France due to lockdowns, and I think there might be even some more stringent lockdowns. As I say, every 2 weeks the governments are reviewing the problem and adding new laws. So yeah, we just got to hang in there, and that's just trying to give you a real picture of what's happening here in Portugal regarding the coronavirus. So yeah, COVID, personally for me, COVID was, when we were in lockdown, it was just the things that I couldn't go to the beach. But I mean, it's not about that. It's about trying to get this thing done. I see there's some light at the end of the horizon. There's 2 new vaccines just coming out. One with a 90% chance, another with a 95% chance or 94.5% chance of fixing it. So it feels like this is going to be a really, really tough winter, and Portugal will probably be locked down a lot as well. Flights are all still open. You're still okay to get in here. I'm not sure from which countries you're coming, so that's something that you'd have to check out yourselves. But people are moving around fairly normally, just with these curfews in place, and for essential work, and we're trying to work mainly at home. That's why I'm not showing you around Salvabraj right now having a coffee or going somewhere else. Okay, but I hope that helps. If you've got any questions, I'll try and answer them in the comments. But like I said, I'm not a doctor, and to be honest, COVID-19 driving me nuts. Anyway, I hope it's okay for you guys, and I know a lot of people have been really badly affected by COVID-19. I know quite a few people are very sick with it at the moment, and my heart goes out to all of those people. So thanks for watching, and we'll try and make a more fun, uplifting video next time. Thank you.